obviously, it's a bit of a mess here. But building this thing here.
That's
It's
mad.
the main recording studio, broadcast studio, sorry,
Oi.
is there. So yeah,
That's all
nice
mad.
and
How'd you feel,
tall.
man?
I feel gassed, I can't lie, man. It's kind of mad seeing it come together. There's a second one, like pre-record room and all that, like practice room, storage room. There's a little
Yo.
chilling spot as well, like gonna put a little TV up in there
You
and
need
that,
that chill spot, boy. It's where the magic
Yeah, man,
happens.
exactly. Obviously, live from Tottenham Hill.
Oi.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
That's
man,
crazy.
this is it. This is
That's
us.
so crazy.
Yeah,
Congratulations
man.
on the funding come through, man. That's huge.
Thank you very much, man. This is really gonna make this thing a reality. You know what I'm saying?
It's so good as well, just to see like from the ground up, like literally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, trust.
Captured this at this point. Obviously in March, we didn't know what was gonna happen, but then to see you here and you're grinning hard. Oi.
I'm grinning like you.
This is so wild.
No,
Oi, thank you so much for your
very
time
much.
as well. Like absolutely, just wanna.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. It's actually wild to not be in the dance to see you. Do you know what I mean? It's like this whole year has gone past and no one ever expected it. So basically,
it's crazy,
like Too Much Sauce is a platform to celebrate creatives who are making history today. Of course, we want to acknowledge the people who've gone before us, the people who are coming, but it's really important to notice who's doing bits now. Do you know what I mean? 2020. This year's gallery is in partnership with Roundhouse. Shouts to Roundhouse. But the two themes, joy and resilience. I don't think we can get very far without talking about joy and resilience. So yeah, you are someone through Recess, Black in the Day, No Signal. I mean, how many more do you want under your belt, really?
More coming, man. More coming.
No, more. I know. I can see behind you more coming. So I'm always asking people my second question last, but I want to start with joy because I think through No Signal, all that this year has brought, it's been a tough year, but definitely one that's been marked by joy. So let me hand it over to you, man. For those of you who don't know, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, my name's Jojo Sanuvi, or Jojo Shonuvi. That's actually, I actually should be pronouncing my surname properly now. I'm a grown up now. I'm a graphic designer by trade, but founder of Recess, co-founder of Black in the Day, and founder of No Signal as well. So yeah, man, Recess is a club night, a day party club night. Black in the Day is it's an archive, so it's like archiving people's family photos. And No Signal is a radio station right now, but a media platform to be.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Pending.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You know what? Yeah, I scrolled on the old IG. Let me bring up one of the posts because you know what's so crazy is obviously this has all happened within the same year, but in March, because obviously everything got locked off in March as well. This is one of the posts. Let me find it in my notes. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, last night parties got cancelled, right? So this is the caption. The party for Research March has closed, but the party continues. Stay tuned. I think that caption alone, when you think about it and deep it's absolutely captured everything from the top of the year down to the end. So let me throw you back into March 2020. Obviously, we didn't really know the extent of COVID and lockdown, but just throw me back to March, the party that was meant to go ahead, that then went online, and then look where we are now in October. So yeah.
Oh man, like that party was supposed to be massive because it was gonna be at Village Underground again, and that's a proper for me. Us doing our party at Village Underground is a win for us because that's one of those venues that's only reserved for certain nights or mostly gigs, isn't it? When it comes to black music. So I was like, you know what, we've done it in Christmas, and they want us to do it again. That's a good thing. So it's like, we're trying to make Shoreditch a place where there's a lot of black music in Shoreditch, like black club nights, but there's a lot of like ones that are like run by people who aren't black in it because they just know that it's a quick way to make peas.
Yeah.
So for us to actually come back there and to do something of quality, I was really excited. So when they got locked off, I was like, damn, that's peak. I hope I get my deposit money back. Put a bit of money down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it was kind of easy for us because we really was live streaming. Like all the parties that we did in 2019 were live streamed. Because we tried to have our own radio show, like just our own thing in 2018, but it didn't really bang. It was quite shit, to be fair. but it taught us how to pattern live streaming, innit? So we was ready, like the website for No Signal was already ready from like the year before because it was just like this live streaming platform. So we was like, okay, boom, like, you know, we move, you know what I mean? Like, let's you know what I mean? Like it was such an easy thing to do. All we had to find out was how to stream from our crib and how to connect to the server, and then that's it. Like, and it was. I remember that first night that we did it was so lit. Like, it was actually so lit. The only thing that was difficult was that when we were trying to change DJs, we have to cut the stream off and be like, "Yo, we're coming back," and then the next person has to reconnect. Okay, I'm back online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think sometimes even those moments, it makes it so authentic because everyone knows what time it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can all appreciate this is what's going on. We gotta wait for, and I think even that adds to the excitement and the buzz of doing it on the fly. Like, you know what I mean?
That night. I deserve to think about that night. That feeling of that night was crazy because, you know, imagine you're just doing this just to stay, not just to keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, like being a freelancer, self-employed person, once everything got locked down, I have nothing to do. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Let's just not have some fun, but let's just keep ourselves occupied, innit? So yeah, that was a proper nice night, that first live stream that we did. But we didn't expect it to be what it is today. I mean, we planned to do something, therefore made plans to have something that's interactive for people, and therefore made efforts to, like, you know, entertain people on a day by day basis via like music, live streaming music, but didn't know it was gonna blow up like this, you know what I'm saying? But we take it on our stride, innit? Because there's no point in just watching. It's like when they say, like, in football, they be like, some players make a pass and admire the pass, innit? Or some players make a pass and then keep moving so they can still get the ball again. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. Like, we made a beautiful pass with, like, you know, the explosion of 10v10 and stuff. But we didn't just be like, okay, rested on our low. We was like, yo, we have to take advantage of this moment and this attention, you know. So, and I'm glad that as a team we all saw that and been able to do that, and people have been able to support us whilst we do that as well.
Absolutely. Let me keep the joy going on this topic though, because I want to know, like, obviously I host events, you know what I mean? I'm in radio, I host events. There's nothing that compares to something live and in person where something just pops and the whole room just explodes. But is that high for you the same or the equivalent high of being online? Like, obviously there's been some viral moments that come from No Signal, but for you, who's in the party scene, so you would know what it's like to be there in person, but is that high on an equal level, or do you miss, like, being in the dance with people? Which one is you going for?
You know, it's crazy, because obviously the volume of people on the internet is obviously much more than in person. But I think there's one thing that I miss so much from it being in person is when you're like, you start on the night and then nobody's there and you're like, I can't wait for everyone to be here, because you already know it's a sold out night. And then the first couple of people are there, they're like, where's everyone at? I'm like, relax, man. And then you see the queue, the queue of people. Do you know what I'm saying? And then everyone comes in and everybody kind of melts and everybody starts to, like, you know, lose their rigidness, and they got the music's flowing through and the music's hitting them. Do you know what I'm saying? I miss seeing that. I miss seeing just that people moving together in one motion, singing together in one motion. But then when it comes to the virtual thing, seeing people go crazy on their timelines, like, yo, what the fuck? This is so good, or this is so funny, and people are making jokes, having a great time, or seeing people post up how they're having a great time, linking up with their friends to listen to the show. That is, it's like, they're two different feelings, but I definitely miss people, like, together. I wish I can have. I can't wait. I can't wait till we can bring what we did online into, like, a real space, but, like, properly, not restrictions where we're sat down, like, properly. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. I hear you. And it's all these little things that you don't realize you enjoy on the night until you can't have it anymore, and you're like, it doesn't hit as well, but it hits differently. It's almost like you've got a social commentary alongside those moments, you know? Obviously, against the backdrop of Black Lives Matter and everything that this year has brought as well, No Signal has almost been like that landing place where you're like, oh, I've been on 10 Zoom meetings. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let me jump
It's
out of
something,
my work
yeah.
mode. And so do you find that the platform has not only brought joy through music, inevitably, of course, but it's just been the ground. You know what? Like being in the dance sometimes and being with friends and the music going and you just having a good time. You don't need to code switch in that place. You don't need to spool up yourself. You don't need to pretend for no one. It's one place where you are understood by people. You don't need to, do you know what I mean? It's very different to be in that space. And I think, yeah, obviously Black radio, Black music and what you're pushing for, it has that element of, I can just be, I can just breathe. And that is something special to come out of 2020, especially across all that this year has brought. So yeah, joy in that sense for you. Do you find that people, there's an edge to that where people can just be themselves?
That's 100%. That's one of the main ethos of Recess. Like you said, you don't have to code switch. You just you could have a long day, but you can come there and hope to let your hair down. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with the content. Those Zoom days, you got like a day full of Zooms, and you're like, right, boy, what am I looking forward to?
Here's me on Zoom with you, going on about Zoom.
I mean, what's it called? Like TV was really failing to entertain us in that period, innit? So giving people something to look forward to is an amazing privilege, and it's an amazing feeling as well. Because man, you got all these people waiting for this, and they're building the day around it. Do you know what I mean? And excited for the feeling it gives them, even if they're expected to be disappointed.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that were expected to be disappointed, but they love it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's man. So it's a very it's such a good feeling to be able to like give that to people, because I feel like for us here in the UK, like there isn't much that caters for us. Do you know what I mean? And when there is something, it's like there's a big song and dance. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't celebrate it, but it shouldn't have to be like that. It just should be kind of like normal for us. We should be able to see ourselves all the time, hear ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
But if it becomes just a thing where it's like only certain periods of the year, or at the will of whoever wants to pay for it, it's kind of a bit jarring. Do you know
it's
what I'm
not
saying?
permanent.
So, Exactly.
And that's a big conversation about permanent change, not just lip service, not don't just come for the vibe if you're not about the hard work as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like this needs to be all year round. And when I talk about making history, this is really the conversation, because people love to have a viral moment or love to have the end product and something to post on the gram, but actually all the hard work that it takes to get to these places needs to be credited, needs to be rewarded. And there's hours that you've put in that we've seen and also that we've not seen. And that's part of the process. So what have people not seen you do? And this is the platform to brag. Like, I don't think for us lot in the UK, we kind of spend enough time to just saying, do you know what? I've actually done really well to get here. So if there's something that you think actually, not many people would have seen the hard work that it took to get here, what would you say that would be?
I think it's a lot of trial and error, and kind of like, using your own resources as well. Like we always have to use our own resources. You know what I mean? But I think like we was in a position where we always had to, like, when we do the parties, like, okay, we have to see how we can reinvest into ourselves, which is the right thing to do. But I think in terms of the stuff that people haven't seen, maybe the days where man hasn't eaten till like 5 p.m. or some shit like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's only my fault. But that's only because I'm literally like, I'm living and breathing what I'm doing at the moment. Like, it was happening in the early days of when 10v10 went viral and we had massive exposure. And I think the 2-3 weeks after the Vibes Cartel and Wiz show, like that was a blur. I don't remember like that feeling, because I don't remember how I felt back then, because it was a mad period. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's a mad period. Like, I was just thinking like, damn, like I don't even have a second to myself, because it was a bit draining. I can't even lie, man. I was even scared to use social media. I was thinking about I'm scared of anything I say is going to be a mad thing. I was like, it was quite an anxious period as well. And you kind of just have to like take it, because you're like, yo, this is something you've always wanted deep down. It's here. You
Yeah.
can't bitch up now. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't be like, oh no, I'm shook. Oh no, and it's yeah. I think those are the things you don't really see. Like it's when you got all those eyes on you, it's a bit nerve wracking still.
Of course. How
You
do you deal
know,
with like, obviously music is a great example of some people like this song and some people don't. Some people feel this artist and some people don't. So how do you deal with like, I'm gonna try this idea and not know if it's gonna bang or not? But like you said with trial and error, you're just gonna go for it. And sometimes it hits
yeah.
and sometimes it doesn't. But how do you deal with the pressure of like, I want people to like it and I want this to go, but if it doesn't, I'm all right with that and we'll try the next thing. How do you best trial and error?
I think because I've tried other things before and they didn't bang, and I think you just kind of get not numb to it, but you're like, okay,
I've got to
like
keep it
you
moving.
not, yeah, you know how to deal with it. You know how to deal with something not hitting. The first time
Mm.
something didn't hit for me, I was like, oh boy, this was supposed to work. This
Yeah.
is supposed, you know what I'm saying? I thought like, oh, I put everything into this. Why is it not working?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just one of those things where what is it? I was watching something the other day, and they said that people that take risks or make predictions, it's
Mm.
not like a gut feeling. They just have lots of data in it.
Yeah.
And obviously, for us as human beings, that data is also obviously can equate to experience. So like, you know, spend a lot of time with something, spending a lot of time working with something or on something. So like the amount of time I've spent trying stuff over like the past 5 years,
Yeah.
like therefore come
Mm.
handy like when it comes to a moment like this. And even like my experience with the early days of recess and seeing how, you know, you have this massive support base and they're like propping you up and then it goes, but then you get a new one, like seeing the same thing with no signal, you know,
Yeah.
massive support base, and then it dies a bit because they only know what's the one thing, which is a 10v10. But we're
Yeah.
trying to do
Branch out.
radio. We're
Yeah.
trying to have a whole radio thing. Do you know what I mean? So at first I was like getting frustrated when people were like, oh, they don't know that we're a radio station. But then I realized I've been through this before already, recess.
Yeah.
You know, so now I know I just got to keep at it, because if I keep doing this and we keep doing it and keep telling people that we're doing it, by the way, it's also important
Mm.
to let them know. Can't just do something in silence and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're doing this. You
Yeah.
have to let
Yeah.
people
How
know
do you
we're
not
doing it.
know? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to let them know. So then by doing that, I know that eventually, slowly but surely, I build a strong foundation that people know
Mm.
exactly what we're for. And that's what helps with research. That's why research was able to do 50 parties consistently
Yeah.
at the same level for that 3 year period. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we didn't fold in it. We didn't kind of like when people were saying do this, do that, we was like, no, we're gonna do it our way.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen to certain things, but we're gonna do it our way. Same with no signal. Get investment, you know, get someone to the thing, but offer this. No, we're gonna do it our way. So
Yeah.
when we won the 50K the other day, I was like, yo, listen, vindication. You know, because we know there's many ways to get
Mm.
money. We're expecting the streets to give us 450K.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's different avenues, you know what I'm
There's
saying?
different pots. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So that's where the trial and error comes in, because like you've learned that okay, it's good to listen to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
take advice, but listen to what all don't listen to all the noise over there all the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to be able to discern what is good advice and what is fickle advice. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
And it goes
that's
back as
where
well, like you've got a back catalogue. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like if you've done the groundwork, you're not thrown off when something repeats itself because you're like, oh
yeah,
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 I've gone through that, so I know how to
yeah,
deal
yeah,
with that and come out again.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's resilience. Like that's why
yeah.
resilience in 2020 is such a big theme. But just to finish up with joy, why do you think Black people will always find joy regardless of the situation?
You know what? Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, cause there will be a tragic situation, and somehow we'll find a way to just make light of it, which is can be problematic, but also can be a way to cope as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But it's just in our nature, man. Like, you know, just to be. I think we're naturally humorous people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you know, we know how to make a song and dance to things. And
Mm.
we know how to sing and know how to dance as well. You know. So it's like I think when we're because we generally speaking, I don't want to generalize. Actually, it's not generally speaking, but like for most part, especially like working class black people, you know, a lot of us don't have much in it, so we've always had to be creative with everything,
Yeah.
you know.
And
So
be grateful for what we do have. Yeah.
exactly, you know, exactly. So sometimes we're creative with, we find ways to entertain ourselves from with the bare minimum, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how, you know, we seem to always be seemingly joyous, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you can see that when you're in the dance with people, you know, there is a collective, like, something resonates when something goes off and you're like, yeah, I know what you're feeling. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know what
yeah,
you're feeling. I know why you're
yeah,
dancing so hard, because you probably had to stay quiet at work about something. It's the place where it's like Christmas, but on repeat, where you just kind of let go and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And with good people, with good vibes. And
yeah,
it's that fuel again that keeps topping you up to go again another week at work, or go again another whatever
yeah,
you're going through. And I think that's what No Signal has done for a lot of people. It's been like, yeah, that's my checkpoint. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to check
yeah,
in on
yeah,
at
yeah.
night. I'm going to absorb all the good vibes to keep me going. Because for a lot of us, having conversations around racism day in and day out and day in and day out, it's hard. It's really,
Draining.
really hard.
It's draining, man. And music is one of those things that it soothes you, energizes you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It comforts you. It speaks to you, preaches to you. So it's like you said, it's a checkpoint where, you know what, it's 9 p.m. Let me
Mm.
put my feet up. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm gonna chill out, or I'm on the bus. You know, going somewhere. Let me lock in as well. Like, you know, it's as much as, you know, 10v10 was that structure, we want
Mm-hmm.
the rest, eventually, the rest of us programming and scheduling to be a checkpoint for people, and different checkpoints. It could be, I know some people, they wake up every morning, they listen to RBC show at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
and that's it. That's them. That's
That's
their,
their dose, isn't it? Yeah.
that's their dose for the day. You know what I'm saying? Some people lock in Monday nights to Mavella show at
Mm-hmm.
11. That's their dose for the week. Do you know what I'm saying? And some people are like, yo, I listen every day.
Yeah.
I listen all day on a Saturday. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, like, I'm happy
Wherever you
however you
engage.
interact. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
there's so many ways to get in. They've given you so many avenues to come in. Like, welcome, like, come through. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the 10v10, and as a 10v10 was like for the masses, but for the people that really enjoy music, and like there's so many entry points, and like you said, the checkpoint, so many places for people just to come check in, check
Yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what do you think you've taught mainstream radio? Because obviously you're turning heads right now. These guys are like, bro, how did they do that? So, and that's
Yeah,
another point of joy for the black community. You're like, yeah, if we can't get in one way, we'll make another way, you know. That is a
exactly.
resilience sort of inbuilt structure that we will always have. So for you, looking at what you've done and what you've built, what message do you think that sends to mainstream radio?
I think it shows them that, you know, black music is owned by black people,
Mm-hmm.
and like, you have to let the owners of the source, you
Yeah.
know, to actually be to control it, and to cook it themselves. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you can try. It's like somebody from. It's like trying to get some. Obviously, you can learn how to cook. You can go culinary school and learn how to cook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it never
Man
beat.
said you could go calories.
You know what I'm saying? But it will never beat the way someone from that country will cook that dish, in it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So like me, yeah, as a Nigerian, yeah, I can probably cook jollof rice. Cool, yeah, calm. That's very generic. Jollof rice is even so generic. Let me go deeper. Let's just say, yeah, I was gonna cook pounded jam and fried stew, yeah, cook it my way, blah blah. Because I've grown up on this thing, so I know the nuances. I
Yeah.
know I know what really makes it work, and
Mm-hmm.
have my own twist on it as well.
Right.
But then, say a non-black person will now go to culinary school, or maybe go live in Nigeria for like 5 years and then learn off somebody, but they're still gonna have their own twist. But their own twist isn't indigenous, because their own twist doesn't. It's not deep rooted. You know what I'm saying? My twist comes
Yeah.
from the fact that I'm a black person. I'm from Nigeria. I can make it. So
Yeah.
same with music as well. Like, you can curate all the best people, blah blah, or you can get all these non-black DJs to go play black music because they've studied it and
Mm-hmm.
they've collected vinyls for how
And
many
it's only
years.
one here. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But end of the day, it's not there. It's not in
Mm-hmm.
your DNA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't, because we are entrenched in the scene that we're playing to, that we want to market to. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So we understand what they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we know how to curate
You read the
what
audience
you
exactly.
know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
we're actually there. So it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's just showing to maybe to mainstream radio. You got to be out here on the streets, B. You know what I'm saying? You have to be out here, and I think that's what I'm gonna say for now.
No, all good. All good. My last question is all about resilience. Just to tie it all together. So resilience, because I think this year has needed a lot of strength, and people's strengths have come in all different shapes and sizes, and however people have found strength. But for you, how has 2020 made you stronger? That's my question to all creatives.
It's to, you know, it made me strong in a way where, like, I had nowhere to go, and I was like, well, you have to look upwards, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it taught me to, like, you know, like, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like, it's as generic as that sounds. It's like you can always make a way for yourself as well. Like, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God. So it's really taught me to really, really, really trust God, because I was praying hard, like, yo, like, okay, what's the move?
Yeah.
Like, where do we go from here? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I was a bit confused. But then once, like, one thing happened, I was like, you know, okay, I'm gonna trust this process, what I'm doing right now, and then hopefully it will take me. So some, like, as much as people say trust the process, sometimes you really got to stick with something, because, you know, we've seen these countless cartoons of somebody digging, and they're this close to the gold and they give up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've seen that, so, but literally,
if you just kept going, like, you would have got there.
You know what I'm saying? You could have
Yeah.
got there. So it's one of those things. It taught me to, like, you know, to trust in God, to trust in my own ideas as well, and, like, the rest will follow. And just to boy, it's mad. It's just to trust in your ideas, and to it taught me as well that, you know, a lot of things in life, they don't come. You might wish for something at a certain point in time, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's not because it's not meant to happen. It's probably just not the right time for it. Because there's a lot of ideas that I had time ago, and now they've formed what we are seeing today as No Signal. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's been able to, like, it's good to, like, kind of, like, still respect those ideas enough to bring them back to life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can go revisit the idea book, and be like, ooh.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to kind of believe yourself, respect your own ideas. So as if, like, you know what, yeah, if it's not going to work today, I want to park it for now.
Yeah.
And see in the future if I've got an opportunity to bring it back to life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And when you say it happens for the right time, I'm so glad No Signal happened this year as opposed to any other year, because we would have a very different 2020 without the joy and everything that it's brought. Do you know what I mean? It would have hit in any year, but it hit for this year because we're looking around at conversations and there's a validation there. There's a, like, okay, this whole wide world of what's going on over, let me just park that and come over here because people get me. And we need that all year round and in every year of life. But I think for this particular year, it spoke volumes, absolutely volumes.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, for real.
Yeah, no. And do you know what? Like, it's so funny that you mentioned the Lord. I'm a Christian as well. And even before jumping on this chat, now, honestly, I just actually said a prayer before. I said, you know what? Even talking to you where you are now, look at your background. Do you know what I mean? It's actually mad.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah, it's mad.
You see what I mean? And I think this year I've walked with a friend through loss, and COVID has been real. It's been real more so than just, you know, lockdown. When you're walking with someone and you have to go to a funeral, you realize that, you know, all the things that we may have clung to and held hold, these things can go. So sometimes when your faith is in the Lord and you're like, okay, when everything else around me is falling apart, I've got the one who will never change, and I've got the one who I can trust in and hold on to. So even to hear your journey and your encouragement and just know that actually, you're rocked and rooted in him. Just such an encouragement to see. So man, thank you.
That's really nice, man. That's a nice little ending as well, man.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All the best for tonight as well. Like, you guys are just smashing it.
With Brent, damn,
I know.
I'll give you a shout out tonight.
Yeah, Chris K as well. Shout out to Chris K. Boy, it's been so good. So good. Thank you so much, man. Too much sauce 2020. Jojo in the building, literally in the building.
In the building, baby.
In the building.
Yes,
I gotta do another
sir.
one with you in Zoom in a couple months' time. We'll see the progression.
Listen, you know, come back in October, 100%.
Yeah.
I might even get you to come down there, man. Do you know what I mean? So,
I'd love to, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. All the best, man. We'll catch up soon.
thank you very much.
Yeah, take care. See you soon.
Take care. See you later.